Jon-Christopher, Bua, White House correspondent for Realpolitik News. John, lovely to talk to you once again. It's been a little while. Let us first of all, perhaps, begin with the state visit. And my goodness me, have we not really pulled out all the stops for Mr. Trump on that rainy day yesterday in Windsor?
You know, I saw the Queen the first time ever in London for the Beating the Retreat, and I was just enthralled, and I was just totally in love with all the pomp and circumstance. But I have to say, what you did at Windsor really was extraordinary. But the highlight of the event, I saw, Trump putting his hand on his back, which was not a protocol. But the thing that was the most amazing to me was His Majesty's toast, when he spoke so eloquently and elegantly. And I thought that this is what it's all about. And I thought, what a wonderful man. And I was just impressed. And I think Donald Trump probably was losing his mind, if he isn't already lost, and thinking that, this is the greatest thing. But I think he probably was jealous because he liked to come home and have that kind of a royal welcome. But, we're still a democracy, Richard. That's all I can say.
Well, I mean, it's sort of unconditional love, isn't it, when you come on a state visit? You know that you're going to get... No one's going to be heckling you, although that's going to come when he and Starmer do the press conference. More of that with you in a moment. It's unconditional praise and, and compliments. This is what Mr. Trump lives for. He lives for people to love him, or at least be seen to love him.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head. And I was there back in, I think it was the 27th of February at the White House, the passing of the invitation that the Prime Minister took out of his breast pocket of his suit and gave it to Trump. Said, this is an invitation by His Majesty the King for you to come to England, to Great Britain, and as for a royal visit, a state visit. And I thought Trump was going to lose his mind.
Yeah.
It was a very smart thing to do.
It was a tactical move by the civil service, I think, and I suspect that it will pay off. Just in terms of the diplomacy and the politics, and in particular, I think trade, which is what this... in a sense, there are two strings to this, aren't there? One, the King has said, you've got to keep supporting Zelensky in Ukraine. There will also be questions about bringing the conflict in Israel and Gaza to an end. But of course, with the UK having left the European Union very foolishly as part of Brexit, we need new trading connections. What do you think Starmer needs to be prioritising when he talks to Trump in terms of Britain's interests and what we can get out of this, given that we've given Trump this great opportunity? We deserve something back in return. He is, after all, a transactional politician.
Starmer needs to guarantee the president that the trade with him will be as free and open as possible, and that NATO strength and will be there and will be supported, and that he is part of NATO and then give him the praise for that. And this is going to be at Chequers, which is historical for us because it's where Churchill did a lot of his most brilliant work.
Just finally on the state visit, before we move on to something slightly different, how does this play in the US? Some of my other American colleagues have said the Americans don't really care too much about, whether Trump is hobnobbing with King Charles and Prince William, but, he obviously likes it. It looks it plays well, because it makes him look very statesmanlike and international. But do Americans really care that he's been given this unprecedented second opportunity to dine with the King?
Well, we Yanks love you Brits, and we always go back to, forget for the Carry On movies, which are fine, but we go back to World War II and the trenches in World War I, where we were always fighting with you on the side with you, and we remember Ike and the Battle of Britain and all these wonderful things that is part of our grandparents and now our lives, and that we feel a real strong kinship, I should say, quite a pun, with all of you, and they love the tradition, and we love the pomp and circumstance. Our latest royal family were the Kennedys, and that was 50 years ago.
Yeah, that was as close as you got, wasn't it? Let's move on, because Donald Trump has also filed, he is not only transactional but a very litigious president, he's also filed a £15 billion defamation lawsuit against the New York Times. What's all that about?
Well, he's not happy with the Times, and he's not happy with Rupert Murdoch at the Wall Street Journal. But lo and behold, there was Murdoch was there at the dinner tonight.
He absolutely was. Yeah.
Which is such irony, you know. It's incredible.
Well, let's hope that wine and bread rolls weren't thrown across the table. Just finally, I mean, the FBI director Kash Patel faced a Senate hearing over what's been described as politically motivated firing and hiring, and of course, the Epstein files. Can you just put a bit more flesh on the bones of that line?
Well, Trump wants the Epstein scandal to just go away, and and Kash Patel has all the info. He's got it all, and he knows where everything is. He knows where the bodies are buried. He knows who was involved in what, but he refuses to give it up. And he was 2 days he was on the Hill testifying, and he wouldn't really give anything up. And he was looking rather silly because he was using rather foul language and having a real blast with some of the members of Congress in the last couple of days, and it didn't come off well.
Jon-Christopher Bua, thanks very much indeed. Always good to have your contribution. White House correspondent there for Realpolitik News.